Don't do Roth conversions. Do this instead. All right, so I just got off today. Well, almost every day I deal with people like this. I love Roth conversions. I'm the Roth king. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably named after Bill Roth, frankly, who was the namesake of the Roth IRA. Anyway, he used to be a Republican senator from Delaware. Shocking, isn't it? Even though where Bo Jiden was from, Sniffy Joe. I bet Sniffy Joe was sniffing Bill Roth. Like, Bill Roth, let me sniff your wife. I just listened to Kamala on the radio, the news say, I was like, dude, can you be, is there anyone dumber than Kamala Harris? I don't think there is. I literally think she might be the dumb, and I'm like, I get it. AOC, I know. I get who's dumb on our own side? Lindsey Graham. I get we got tons of dumb people on our own side. Dan Crenshaw, but he's probably not dumb. Lindsey Graham, he's kind of dumb. Anyway, we got tons of people on our own side who are dumb too. Kamala Harris might be the stupidest person I've ever heard in my life. I mean, just like, I'm like, that chick's gonna be president? Crazy. How dare you, Josh? How dare you? She's a proud black lady. She's not black. She's not. Give me a freaking, at least American black. She's not American black, dude. Give me a break. Crazy. Anyway, this is the nature of the beast here. We got, all right. So anyway, so we're dealing with people who need some money from their portfolio to live on, all right? So they can take it from a brokerage account or they can take it from an IRA. If they take it from an IRA, it'll be taxed as ordinary income. If they take it from a brokerage account, there might be some capital gains that they have to sell. So the brokerage account is inherently more tax efficient because it's already been taxed, other than if there's any long-term capital gain. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to say, for simplicity, this is the guys dealing with today, we need $100,000 a year from our account. All right, so $100,000 a year to live on. He's married, filing jointly, so if it's single taxpayer, just divide by 2. You're so biased in favor of married people, just divide by 2. It's easy to do. $100,000 a year in income. They're not on Social Security, just we're using this for example. We're not on Social Security. Where does the money come from? All right, let's just say they have $500,000 in an IRA and $500,000 in a brokerage account. Just for simplicity, the brokerage account could be bank accounts, CDs, anything. All right, so this money has already been taxed by and large. So there might be some capital gains. Let's say they're $350 is their cost basis. All right, cost basis. That means they have $150,000 of unrealized gains. So anytime they make a sale, if we're just going to do easy, simple, we're going to do LIFO, we're going to do FIFO, we're just going to do average. So LIFO and FIFO are ways you can do specific identification to determine what shares you want to sell to minimize your tax burden today, if that makes sense. Specific identification. I'm going to sell those shares and not those shares. You can do LIFO, last in, first out. You can do FIFO, first in, first out. Here we're just doing the average cost. All right, that's it. So in this case, of their $500,000, that'd be 60%, 70% would be return of principal, ROP. All right, which means they don't pay tax on that, no capital gain tax, because that's part of their cost basis. I don't want to get too deep in the woods on that here today. We can talk, if you want more on that kind of stuff, we can get into it. I just don't want to do that right now. By the way, look at this shirt. Dear Dad, forget Father's Day. We woof you every day. Love, Pablo and Finney. Yeah, you know you're jealous. You know you're jealous. You don't have that shirt. That shirt crushes. All right, so in this case, essentially we could pretty much take money out if they're still in the 12% tax bracket with no taxes, because long-term capital gains are zero if they're maintained in the 12% tax bracket. There's a huge caveat. I cannot tell you how many people think they could basically have $1 million long-term capital gains and not pay any tax on it because they're still in their 12% tax bracket by their income. No, that's not true, man. I'm just telling you right now, just because you're in the 12% tax bracket, from an income perspective, you can't just go ahead and sell $500,000 long-term capital gains and those $500,000 won't be subject to taxation. That doesn't work like that. That will put you into the next tax bracket, which means you'll have, 15% capital gains on that sale. A lot of people think, oh man, I got $30,000 of income, I can sell $200,000 of shares. Shares that have a $200,000 gain, I won't pay any tax. No, it's not like that. Now, that doesn't mean the whole thing would pay tax, but there is a certain threshold, 120, and once you break 120, married, filing jointly, whatever you have long-term capital gains above that will be subject to 15% in this regard. So just keep that in mind. I see that in the comments on occasion, like, it's not the way it works. And like my man Johnny the other day, Johnny Adams, hey you, I'm seeing you out there. Roth IRAs count towards Obamacare. No. Income from Roth IRAs does not count towards Obamacare. So if you're looking for Obamacare tax credits, your Roth IRA distributions don't count, all right, just as an FYI. So Johnny Adams, yeah, I wonder why you're the third president, because Thomas Jefferson smoked you there, Johnny. All right, so in this case, we're not assuming Obamacare. If we were assuming Obamacare, we'd want to take money from the IRA, the brokerage account first. That's just a fact. And the reason we want to take money from the brokerage account is because, again, we can minimize the tax consequence here, which means we'd maintain our 12% tax, or we'd maintain our income where we can qualify for Obamacare tax credits. All right, so we just got to keep that in mind. So we're presuming Obamacare is not an issue here. Now, in this regard, we want to take money out of here as opposed to doing Roth conversions. Now, what some people say, why not just pull money out of here and do Roth conversions here at the same time? Well, because if you're doing this, first of all, this will put you in it'll put you into the 22% tax bracket. By doing Roth conversions here, it'll put you in the 22% tax bracket, which will mean these will be taxed as long-term capital gains as opposed to zero. I hope that makes sense. So if we're doing this right here, doing Roth conversions, we still need money to live on. The money to live on is going to come from here, which means we have to sell part of a brokerage account here, and we're going to pay the long-term capital gain tax on it. If we go above the 12% tax bracket, 120 is your AGI. If we go above the 120, then that's not going to work, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that will put us to 22% tax bracket, which means these will be subject to long-term capital gains, whereas previously they would have been tax-free. Hope that makes sense. On top of that, don't forget, not much taxes here anyway. If you got a VTI, ETF, there's no capital gains there. Minimal dividends. You know, if you got $500,000 is paying 2% a year dividend. That's $10,000 a year. If you maintain the 12% tax bracket, guess what? You're not paying capital gain. You're not paying dividend tax on that either. So in this case, for simplicity, we just need $100,000. I'm just using that for example, kind of like the video I did earlier today, where these people are going to take 10% a year out until Social Security kicks in. Let's just leave that for our kids. Step up basis just grows and grows and grows and grows. You know, we'll get some dividend income we could live off. Cost basis doesn't change, other than if you reinvest some dividends, I get all that. But generally speaking, that grows. This will transfer to your kids completely tax-free. If you're in a community property state, I don't want to get too deep in this, but if you're in a community property state, Texas, all the western states, there's a lot of benefits of being in a community property state where you die, you leave it to your wife tax-free too, with a step-up in basis. We don't have that in common law states. So just in the back of your mind, remember, community property, Texas, Arizona, I'm sure California, Utah, Wyoming, I'm sure Washington. Seems like there's one state out there, maybe New Mexico, that wasn't a community property state. Basically, the western states are community property, and if you look into this about how you can transfer community property assets to your spouse with a complete step up in basis, other than what we have here in common law, which is just 50%, which we'll take. But it doesn't matter. So what we want to do is we don't want to do Roth conversions while we're living off this, because that will put that as subject to long-term capital gain tax and potentially qualified dividends. You have to pay some taxes on the qualified dividends as well. Just live off this. Just live off this, man. Don't do Roth conversions. Just live off it. It's all the same thing. So if we're needing $100,000, we got to pull $100,000 from the IRA. We're still in the 12% tax bracket, because 120 AGI is where you go to the 22% tax bracket. So now if we're doing a $100,000 Roth conversion and we're living off this right here, we're going to go to the next tax bracket. Why? Why do that? Well, because what? The answer, of course, will be, well, no, we don't have any taxable dividends or long-term capital gain tax here. Well, you don't have to have long-term capital gains tax with specific identification. Your dividends are minimal, and there is no capital gain inside an ETF or Vanguard ETFs anyway. I don't want to get too deep in that here. I'm just telling you. Don't do Roth conversions in this case. What we want to do is live off this money. Live off that money right there. And that will maintain you in the 12% tax bracket. Hope that makes sense, dude. A lot of people, I guess I'm part of the problem. I created this monster of Roth IRAs and everything. I love the Roth. All my money is now in Roth. I am done. I'll never do another deferred account. It's all in Roth. You know what I'm saying? And VTI, I got Roth and VTI in my brokerage account. That's all I'm doing forever. Forever and ever and ever. Roth and VTI, Roth and VTI. That's it. I will never pay taxes on my income, or at least I shouldn't say I'll never pay tax. As we sit here today, when retirement comes, I will never pay tax on my long-term capital gains, qualified dividends, because all my money's in Roth and brokerage accounts. So Social Security, Roth, and brokerage accounts, I should be all tax-free for the rest of my life. That's nuts. And so anyway, the point being, Roth conversions work, and I'll probably do I'll do other videos on that again when they work the best. They don't work more often than not. They don't. It depends on who you are. There's lots of times when Roth conversions work. If we need money to live on, we do. I don't care what the amount is. I mean, it really depends on what your tax bracket is, how much income you need. In this case, we needed $100,000 to live on, and we got $1 million. We don't want to do Roth conversions. Just pull the money out of your IRA and draw that money down. And then what's going to happen is this can keep growing and growing and growing. That's almost like a Roth itself. I hope this helps. If these videos help you, want to buy me a cup of coffee, doing the doobly-doop down there. And then, of course, if you want to sign up for my email newsletter, sign up. I'm going to do a Generation X webinar here in about 2 weeks. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to charge $55 a pop, a household. So you and your wife can join, you and your husband, you and your lover, your overweight lover in the house, overweight lover. But I'll do that for Generation X. I think there's a lot of stuff that I want to get off my chest when it comes to Generation X retirement planning, because, man, you still got time to figure this stuff out because you're not 60 years old yet. So if you're interested in that, send me an email. I'll get you signed up. I haven't billed anybody yet or anything. I'm not sure the definitive date yet, but I'll be in touch on that. All right, love your thoughts. See ya.